I swear, one of the worst kept secrets in America is the amount of the amount of younger women that be hunting out older guys, whether it be in their late 20s, right? Guys in their late 20s and they're teenagers, and especially when they're teenagers in high school, right? The amount of women that be looking for those type of people, and they're basically talking about it like they'll be 18, 19 talking about I need a sugar daddy and whatnot. What do you think they're doing for that? You think that people just think that they're just getting money for free? This month, it's got to be either this month or July. There's somebody that I know, and I'm gonna have her on. I think I've been saying this for a while now, but I've been keeping in contact. I got to get her at least, if not this month, then July. I'm gonna have her come on, and I'm gonna basically ask her. I'm gonna have her on a anonymous mode, so people don't know who she is, and I'm gonna ask her the questions I already asked her in the DMs, and she basically told me everything that I knew, but it's just that most won't say it. It's just most won't say it. Most won't say it. Okay. So there, like I'm saying, there are girls that are teenagers already. I'm talking about underage too, right? And they're already messing with older dudes. And what people don't even understand, like the age of consent in most states is 16. Now there are parameters to that. But the whole thing about waiting till a girl until she's 18, that's just a Hollywood thing. What people don't understand, most of those concepts are coming from the state of California. When you see stuff on TV, most of those concepts come from state laws from California. So in California, the age of consent is 18, but in most states, the age of consent is actually 16. And girls, especially nowadays, what I've been, when you ask the average girl, really ask her, when did you lose your virginity? Or when did you first started messing around, right? You're going to hear 14, 15. Now, me personally, I've been hearing 13 a lot of the times. I'm not going to say most times I've heard 13, but I've heard, especially lately, I've been hearing 13 and 12. That's what I've been hearing lately. Now, down south, it's actually common to where you hear a girl say, oh, I was 12, I was 13. But I've been, like me personally, I've been hearing 13 years old. So, hey, don't shoot the messenger. Do not shoot the messenger. This is from the mouths of ladies of what they're saying. And I even know, like, I know a girl personally who I haven't heard from since 2020. I don't know where she at. I hope she's not dead in a ditch somewhere because she works in the street, if you know what I'm saying. I know her personally. She said she started escorting at 16. 16. So that means she was messing around even way before. Like when you see a girl say, "Oh, I got pregnant at 16," that means she's been messing around since she was like 13, 12. I hope you guys know that. And usually when you're talking about a girl that's 13 years old, already messing around with older messing around, they're not talking about messing around with boys in their age. They're not having sex with men in their age group. A lot of the times when you're talking about 12, 13 years old and they're messing around, usually the guy's already in high school already. Most of the time, usually I always say when you're talking about, because girls have confirmed this for me, because I have said this, and for some reason guys don't even want to talk about it, or they want to act like it doesn't exist. But at least I'll have some girls be like, yeah, you're right about that. Like they know I'm spot on. I gotta stop blowing up the mic. Anyway, when you're talking about a girl that is 13 years old and she's messing around, the guy is minimum 4 years older than her. At least minimum 4 years older. When you're talking about 13 years old, when you're talking about a 13-year-old, the guy that she's messing with is at least a sophomore or higher in high school. It's like it's so predictable because it's literally the same thing every single time. When you're talking about, say, like it will be like, or if it's a freshman in high school and she's already having sex already, the guy is probably a senior in high school, right? Now, anybody that grew up in the hood. Now, I didn't grow up in the hood, right? When I lived in Bridgeport, I lived in the safe part of town where basically where all the Italians and the Brazilians are. So, but even still, then there is a spot, right, where I might have to blur out what I said, what town I said. Anyway, I'm gonna have to blank out that part. But anyway, when I lived in a certain city, right? I lived in there was a time before I lived in the suburbs. I lived in the city. I lived in the safe part of the city, though. There was a high school or high schools I used to go past, and I remember grown dudes in trucks picking up girls in high school. I'm talking about grown men, and those were not their fathers. And I'm gonna just leave it at that. Niggas in Mustangs. Anyway, I'm gonna just leave it at that. And it's not just the city I lived in too. I saw that when I would travel, and I still do sometimes from time to time. Anyway, especially in the 2000s, when people was driving around with their trucks, they had them big ass rims on it. Even in their car, they would have a nice car, and they got them shit. Remember them rims that used to be spinning around and whatnot? Man, everybody used to have them in the hood. Woo-wee. I remember used to seeing them them spinning shiny ones. Anyway, let's move on. I want you to see this video, and it's like one of the worst kept secrets, because what happens is you guys see like the older ladies that be shaming older dudes for liking younger women, but people don't understand. The only reason what happens is those ladies were the same girls at 14 messing with drug dealers. I'm talking about grown men that were drug dealers, and they were like 14 and 15 years old, and they were messing with grown men, grown tattoo artists. You know what I mean? Those are the kind of dudes that they were messing with. And at that time, when they were their age, they would come back to school bragging about that, saying that they're finessing them, and not realizing like $50 or $100 that you that you got out of him in some hash is literally nothing. Because like when you're that age, $50 is like everything to you, especially in the early 2000s. Or you got $100. Oh my, $100 is everything to you, right? So they come back bragging, thinking that they doing stuff, and then it's not really until they get older they realize they literally got finessed for the only thing they had to offer, which was their peace leaf. You know, they just don't realize it, and then they get mad, or they end up and what happens is they end up having daughters, and then they get to that age and they realize that they got finessed. And that's really what that hate comes from a lot of the times. Now, and also when you talk about when it's an older man dating a younger woman, it's the ultimate competition. Like I say, there's 3 things that women hate. I'm not talking about fear, what they hate: average men, paternity tests, and women that are younger than them. Anytime a man, there's always that same fear that I'm going to give my all to a man and blah, 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 and then he's going to leave me for a newer model. That's always the fear. You know what I mean? It's the replacement, because it's a new batch every single year. Girl turns 18 every single year. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna let you watch this video real quick. If I can pull it up. See if I can pull it up real quick. And I need you to see this real quick.
I like older dudes. I do.
How do you?
I'm 19. I'm 19, guys, but I do like older men.
Older, like 30s?
Yeah, if not older.
Like 40s?
Let me stop. I mean, I like older men. Yeah, like 20, 25 plus. I like.
Now, she meant what she said when she said 30 to 40 years old. She meant that. Probably even older. And she's 19 now. When girls come to that conclusion at that age, that means she's been messing around for a while now. That means even before 18, even before 16. That means she's found out what she's like. And the only way you find out what kind of guy you like is if you've been in the streets. That means she's tried guy. She's been with guys her age. She's been with, you know, certain type of people. And she's come to the conclusion at age 19. She's already been ran through at 19. Yes, it is possible. Trust me, it's not uncommon anymore for like a girl that's like 19 to come in with plus 30, plus 40 plus bodies. It's not uncommon anymore. So she's found out that she likes older dudes. And most of it is because of the money and because they can provide a certain experience because they got their own place, they got their own car. And basically the guys her age, most of the guys her age, they don't have their own crib. They don't have their own car. They're at a deadbeat job or they're in college. You know what I'm saying? They're still students, but they don't really have any establishment, any resources. This is why girls go for those guys. And on top of that, you have the guys, you're filled out more. You're in your masculine because you're older. You understand how the game works. You have money. You have, especially if you don't have a whole lot of responsibilities, you got a lot of, you know, what's it, discretionary income. I think that's what it's called. And women are attracted to that, right? So let's watch this video again.
Older dudes. I do.
How do you?
I'm 19. I'm 19, guys, but I do like older men.
Older, like 30s?
Yeah, if not older.
Like 40s?
Let me stop.
Any other questions, fellas? When you see that, because unfortunately a lot of women suffer from diarrhea of the mouth. So she's kind of snitched on herself and she was like, oh shoot, let me stop. Because really, when she was younger, and when I mean younger, that means I'm talking about 17, 16, 15 years old. And she was messing with guys 30 plus up. It's not, I put this video out here. And the problem is when you put videos like this, you always get the same ish from the ladies. Oh, you're condoning this behavior. I'm not condoning this behavior. I'm just telling you what's happening. You could tell a bitch 2 + 2 = 4. Oh, so that means, bitch, I'm just saying 2 + 2 = 4. I'm not saying why. I'm not saying that I like that 2 + 2 = 4. I'm just telling you what it is. That's because I'm gonna get that comment. It's gonna be, why do so you bruh. It's gonna be from men and women too, especially black men. I don't know what, like, I don't know what you guys got to stop simping. Like, for real. This is how the world works. This is how the world works, right? It's one of the worst kept secrets. It's like one of the worst kept secrets is how younger women be going after older dudes. I'm talking about significantly older. It's one of the worst kept secrets. And basically the cat is out of the bag when you got apps like Seeking, all the sugar sites and all that. I mean, cat's out of the bag, really. And people are just in pure denial at this point, in my opinion. But, you know, maybe it's just me. But it's a lot more videos like this. And a lot of women, if you ask them honestly, they'll tell you. It's just it's up for you to accept it, if you want to accept the truth or not.